Hello and welcome back to Bookish. As you might be able to tell from the lighting in here, I waited till tonight, Monday night, to film my tag video. Usually I film these during the day, but you know, hazards of retirement, I forgot what day of the week it was. So I didn't film till tonight, so you know, the ambiance is probably a little bit different. Darkness in the background, kind of a creepy lighting situation for me. Maybe I'll start calling these Bookish After Dark, and I'll get a smoking jacket and I'll get a pipe and stuff like that, and I don't know, I'll talk about more sensationalist books, and that's an idea for future videos. Maybe I'll do that. But what I'm doing today is the favorite authors tag. This tag was created by Nicole Rojas. I'll leave a link to her original video. Over her channel, I was tagged by Bill Ruttenberg of the Ruttenberg Library. I'll leave a link to both of his videos. So the idea behind this tag is that you're just supposed to pick, you know, your favorite author, and then you're going to answer some questions about it. Now, Bill did two different videos, one for fiction and one for nonfiction authors, and rather than just picking one author, he picked three of each, so there are actually six, and I enjoyed watching his videos, and I appreciate the tag, Bill. I only picked one, and I have issues with that, you know, idea of favorite author, so I decided I would switch things up and not go with, you know, Balzac or Morrison or Faulkner in today's video, and I would go with somebody else. And so that brings me to prompt number one. Who is your favorite author? And I'm going to say that my favorite author, for the purpose of this, is Patrick O'Brian. Now, that's not untrue. You know, I have a lot of authors I would consider my favorite authors, and Patrick O'Brian would have to be among them for reasons that would become clear as I answer more of these questions. But O'Brian is the author of a series of historical fiction novels set on an English Navy sailing vessel in the late 18th, early 19th centuries, and it's called the Aubrey Maturin series, which follows the adventures of Captain Jack Aubrey and his medical officer and also British spy Stephen Maturin as they sail the world's oceans and foil the French and fight the Spanish and occasionally even the Americans, and you know, these are books that I dearly love, and I've read all of them, and I'm sorry that there aren't any more, and so I'm seriously thinking about starting to reread them all again. Prompt number two: where did you discover this author? And I'm not really sure. It was quite some time ago. I think it's possible that it was on. I learned about him on the old CBS Sunday morning program. Which I think did a profile not on O'Brian so much as on people who were big fans and kind of like, you know, almost like Star Wars fans of the Patrick O'Brian novels, and that's where I heard about them, and so I decided to pick up the first one, and this is the first one. It's called Master and Commander. You may have seen that the movie Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World, which is kind of an amalgamation of the plots of some of the Aubrey Maturin novels, starring Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany are in that, and also Billy Boyd, who was Pippin in the Lord of the Rings movies. So I think that's where I heard about Patrick O'Brian in these books the first time, but it may have been in the New Yorker or in the New York Times review of books at some point, which I used to read those a lot more than I do now. Prompt number three: was it instant love, or do you have to grow to love the author? And it was instant love for me from the very first, probably chapter of Master and Commander. I knew that these books were something for me, and that as I've read them all now, I can tell you I don't think there's any historical fiction out there that's better than they are. Prompt number four: what is your favorite book by this author? And that would be the second book in the series, and that's called Post Captain. This novel has a tremendous amount of action, and I will tell you that O'Brian is great at writing these naval action battle scenes. They are intense, they're incredible, and this one has the most. After this book, I have a feeling O'Brian realized that if he kept going with, you know, 2 or 3 big battle scenes per book, he was going to run out of kind of historically justifiable battles to have fought, and so he kind of started parceling out his battles a little more, because you should know that O'Brian sticks pretty strictly to the history of Great Britain during the Napoleonic Wars and after the American Revolution, and so on. That is the time period in which this is set, and it does stick to historical dates, even though the events that he writes about are fictional. Prompt number 5. Let's see, least favorite book from that series, and I'm going to say that is The True Love. Now, having said that, this is, by the way, what is this? This is the 15th of the 21 books in this series. This is just the one that I found to be the least, kind of on the whole, interesting. The characters are great, but the action is for the first time, I think, action is clearly just carrying you from one of these novels to another. And its purpose to exist, I think, is more to bring new characters on the scene and to move the characters from one place to another in historical time period. And so for that reason, I would say it's my least favorite. Still loved it. Prompt number 6, how many books have you read by this author? And the answer is 21. That's because there are 21 books in the Aubrey Maturin series. And I've read all of them. And that's more books than I've read by anybody else. I counted. Faulkner, I think, comes the closest. And I may one day read more Faulkner books than 21. I'm not sure there are, but I think it's possible. But he's the author I've read the most, which is why I chose him for this tag, to say he's my favorite author. Because obviously, if I've read 21 of his books, he must be somewhere in that list. And I do love the books in his work. Question number 7 is the one that puzzled me the most. What best describes the author? I don't know if that means best describes the author's style or the author himself. I would say that the author's style is fairly unique. It's formal without being stuffy. It is precise. O'Brien writes very precise sentences, and his language is always precise. It is incredibly well informed. You will learn everything there is to know, I think, or much of the stuff there is to know about sailing, an 18th, 19th century British sailing ship in combat. He's incredibly, well informed on the time period and on the ships and on the events that took place, and the writing is also brilliant. In terms of the author himself, I would say that O'Brien was prickly. I've seen a documentary about O'Brien in which at various points he just refuses to answer questions, and oftentimes the question he refuses to answer seems to be the most banal of all the questions. So as a person, I would describe him as prickly and erudite. Prompt number 8, what genre does the author write in? I've already mentioned that that's historical fiction, and again I will say I think it's the best historical fiction I've ever read. And then why do you love this author? I've already kind of talked about that, but his books contain action, naval battle action, and oftentimes land combat action. They contain incredibly compelling characters who you root for, who you're interested in, who their ups and downs affect you. All of the characters, or lots of the characters, are fully realized. They carry over from one book to another, even though the stories themselves are separate and can be read as standalones. I made a list here. Let's see. The plotting is really intricate, and like I said, even though each book stands alone as a book, all the plots are somehow linked together. Like I said, there's intimate knowledge of the British Navy in the late 18th, early 19th centuries is on display there. There's edge of your seat kind of events. There's intrigue, there's spying, there is love and disappointed love, and just an incredible amount of stuff. The books bring me joy. I'm happy when the characters are happy. There's a scene in The Reverse of the Medal which actually made me cry. I physically cried during a scene in The Reverse of the Medal, which I can't remember which book that is. I want to say it's book 8 in the series, where Captain Aubrey's men show him a kind of loyalty which really just choked me up. So, there's pretty much everything in those books. So then the last prompt is, who do you tag? I'm going to tag several people, and I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times on Tuesdays, we like to do tags because Tags Tuesday. This is a really easy tag, which I think can allow you to talk about your favorite author just as your favorite author. I think the prompts really lend themselves to that, and you could do it quick and easy, and I think have an interesting tag. So I'm going to tag Rainier from Rainier Books. I'm going to tag Karen Evans. I'm going to tag Tootight Lautrec, even though I think I know who your favorite author is, Tootight. I'm going to tag Wendy from Book Nerd TV, and then Justin, aka Ghostreader, I'm going to tag you. But really, any of you, consider yourselves tagged, because I think this is a great tag, a fun little quick tag you can do to talk about an author that you really like. Anyway, look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.